Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson, you're watching Nature Nell, and if you're new, thank you for stopping by. I have been missing in action, and it's because I've been doing a lot of rearranging and rethinking, and a lot is going to be different in the future, and that's why you haven't seen me. On top of that, it's been an extremely hot summer. We're already in June, and as you can see, I'm doing this in parts, by the way. I have to because my phone heats up. And so if I don't do it in parts, it'll shut down. It'll take forever to turn back on. So if I look flushed or sweaty, it's because it's burning out here. It's great for my plants and my crops, but it's terrible for me. I run out of air. I start gasping. I'm from Florida, but I'm still not used to it. So anyways, what I want to show you guys is that now I'm going to start working in my beautiful acreage. I'm actually going to start adding more and more and more to the trees, because from the very beginning that I started this channel, the whole idea was to turn my garden into a mini botanical garden, and everything here are crops because my parents, they built this to sell crops. So when we moved here, we didn't want to cut the trees, but we really weren't into a lot of farming. So my partner, thank God, he knows a lot more about farming than I do, because he did grow up in a farm in Brazil, but I know nothing. I only know how to grow orchids because I, trial and error. And I've learned how to deal with some of the fruit plants and everything, but like by cutting and learning all these things, but I'm really not a farmer. I'm a city boy. But anyways, I decided, why don't I merge the two? Why don't I create a botanical environment around my trees? Even though they're fruiting trees, we can kind of start cutting them down. They were massively tall. Cutting them down, make them into shorter, stubby trees, and create sort of like a rainforest environment. And so slowly but surely, we've turned it into that. And I got to tell you, it's better than I even expected, because being that it's fruit trees, I didn't know how well the plants were going to react to living around them, like my orchids and other pothos and things that I put around. I didn't know how the fruit trees were going to react to it as well. So it was all an experiment. And I got to tell you, it has actually been a pretty cool journey, because I've learned a lot of what you can and cannot do to fruit trees, and vice versa. To some orchids don't like certain fruit trees. So I find that some of my orchids are not crazy about my avocado trees. Even though I do put them, for some reason, they do better on the mango trees. I've just noticed that. And maybe it's because of the situation, where it's aligned with. I don't know. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a super fun show. It will be an hour. I haven't given you guys anything in a long time. So I want to make sure that what I show you is sort of like a potpourri of different things that I've been doing. Now, the last video I did, I showed you my music room, I showed you my aquarium, and I got so much, I haven't been able to respond to everything, guys. Sorry, it's not like it used to be. It's like 4 times the amount. This year really quadrupled amount of, so I try to respond to all of them. So if I don't, it's not, I'm not ignoring anybody. I'll get to it whenever I can get to it right now. Now I can't just do like I used to, but I got a lot of response on showing my other stuff, so I will keep showing it. I'm still working on the shirts. As you will see why I haven't gone to the shirts, it's because this has kept me very busy. So let's turn it around, because I can chat forever and show you what's been happening at the ranch. All right, my friends, if I start yapping away while I show you things about the channel, it's only because I want to, if I remember something, maybe some of you have asked me certain things. If I remember, I will respond here instead of trying to find a question and respond to it, because it could get too crazy. And I honestly don't have that time right now. So I'm gonna have to rebalance the way I do things, because I put everything on the back burner. And this is why I'm trying to play catch up now, because there was so much that hadn't been done. So anyways, for most of you that have not, that have been following me, you remember that I started putting, these are all my mango trees, and notice how short they've stayed. If you guys remember back in the day, they looked like something like that, which these we're gonna cut most likely this year. But look how nice these are turning. This is when Lewis did the massive cutting, and I told him now all we have to do is just keep topping them off and maintain them short, because if you look at the shadow, it only keeps the shadow around the tree. You see? It doesn't go further out. It used to go so far out that even this, because this is still good light for grass, but it was too dark. So I told him if we make him shorter, like this is already a little too much. That bird is really wanting to steal my show. You're what is it they say? You're stealing my thunder or something like that. So anyways, guys, let's get under the bird. It sounds cute. Hey, buddy, you're really going off. He's like really happy. So anyways, these are Josephine Vambrero crosses. Let me see if I do have stickers for all of these. It's just finding the correct one to the correct, because sometimes I think it's one and it's actually the other. It's a Bits Heartthrob cross, and it's from the Moats, of course. They are the kings and queens of the Vambrero Vandas. So this kind of started everything. I really like the way it started looking as far as the growth on the tree. I noticed the tree was perfectly fine. Now this tree, the mangoes are horrible. We never eat mangoes from this tree, but it's such a good tree for hanging Vandas. And from the time that I put this one, which was the first one, till now, I've noticed that they really, really do like this surface. You can automatically see how the roots are reaching out to anchor itself. So what I've been doing, instead of throwing my orchids away when they get too sensitive or they're not doing well, I'm just putting them on the trees. Is there a plan for my orchid insanity? Absolutely not. There's not. I just put and hope that it goes with what it goes. And so far so good on some, and so far so very bad on others. But by the most part, most of them have done well, especially the dendrobiums. They really like when you put them. This one was just a stub. And I said, you know what? Let's just put it here. Let's see what happens. And look. So even if it's just a cane, guys, with the roots, you may have something going there. So don't give up on it. When you see roots, most of the time, it'll do well. Orchids are very, very, very strong, especially when they're on a live tree. So I continued on and I put some here. Now, I will show you, I did film this. This had just bloomed. Let me see what the name is. I got this years ago from Kroll Smith. And she's a beauty. And I filmed her because I knew that I wasn't gonna get to her on time, but she had the most beautiful purple flowers. Now I'm hoping that I did film her. I remember coming here and thinking to myself, you know, I should film it because this is the first time we get blooms. And this one also bloomed, which I did show her not too long ago. It's a standard dendrobium. This is from my neighbors. She's doing amazing here. He's like, I hope you can bring her back. My neighbor over there. And so like these here, see how sometimes they start dying off, but then if it throws off a keiki and it starts growing, leave it. That's what happens out in nature. You know, the old dies and the new one continues on. Now it may rot the other one, I don't know, but what I'm doing is, see like this tiny one here, I put her here, I think it was like a month ago, and she looks very happy there. So what I do is I am not going to be suffocating over the fact that the plant's not doing well. I'm just giving it a last opportunity instead of just dumping it in the garbage like a lot of people would normally do. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if it's gone, it's gone, you know, and if it's too much for you to bring it back, there's priorities. So if you can and you have the trees, put them out here. And this is the one thing that I do love about putting orchids on our trees. If they don't get wet in the summer, like right now, by the way, and I'm going to talk about watering again, and please listen carefully because I had a couple of people, not many, that were saying the complete opposite of what I said in the video. And I need to clarify it because that's how you get in trouble if you don't really pay attention. And I know that I say things several times. I don't just say it once, so that way no one misses the opportunity of hearing it. I said stop watering when it's in the heavy rainy season, not when it's hot, not when it's dry, not when it's sunny. I said when your humidity is extremely high, it's gray outside and it's rainy. That happens a lot in Florida. So when that happens, I'm telling a lot of the people who have the same conditions, because I've been asked, don't water. Let the atmosphere keep it. We live in a greenhouse. In Florida, you live basically in a greenhouse. And the further south you go, the more of a greenhouse you're living in. So why would you water what's already watered? You see what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that if your area is like this right now, like how I see it here, I would destroy my orchids if I didn't water every single day. Now, potted orchids are a different thing. If your potted orchids in your greenhouse are in an area that it doesn't dry up quickly, you don't water them. Use your judgment and your observation. Remember I said that. I'm not there, and a lot of you guys come through my chat room asking me about how to keep your orchids. I cannot answer that because I don't know the conditions, I don't know the medium, I don't know the space, I don't know the heat, I don't know the humidity, and I don't know how you're keeping them in your space. So I would be crazy to try to figure out how to help you out with your orchids. So observation is the key factor here. You observe. I just watered these. You see my roots? This morning I watered. Look, they're still green. This is green. This is green. Now, when you see them, even my Spanish moss, it has that green, minty green color. So the Spanish moss, if you have it on your trees, will tell you. If they're brown, it's time to water. And I put on my sprinklers as well so they can get all watered. So anyways, just needed to clear that out because I don't want people doing the opposite and losing their orchids, okay? All right, here we have more spikes. I had not seen this. This is my Violetta that I got from Bangyang years ago. And Laz and I put him on these trees. And actually, I think maybe these were one of the first ones I put on trees. And they did bloom. Now this, guys, this has been like this, yellow like this for years. I think I've had this now going on 3. And it doesn't die. It just stays this color and it blooms. So I leave it alone. It's happy there and it gives me bloom sometimes. So it's good. So anyways, notice that all these were dying sun plants. They were not doing good on my cage towers. I don't know why, they just weren't. As soon as I put them here, it grew a root and attached itself to the tree. Now this plant knows I'm attached to a tree. I'm protected, I'm safe, I'm not vulnerable. When you have them outside hanging and they're moving, right? Even in my greenhouse, they move. They feel very vulnerable. So the Vandas get very stressed out. And that's why I say, try not to move your Vandas. I know it's easy to move them, but if you look at Mercedes, her videos, notice that her Vandas are, they're placed all together, but they don't really move around, right? They stay in their very steady space, even when there's wind. So when you put them on a tree, they're so firm there that then they start growing with confidence. And you could actually see an orchid with confidence just in the leaves, the way it lays. Because this poor thing, I had no idea it was going to come back, just like this one. This one was a big surprise because she was so tiny. And look, she started pushing out all these massive anchor roots. And now she's like firm there. So she's like, I ain't going nowhere. So that's the key to creating a botanical orchid environment. It's keep them as natural as possible. Put some Spanish moss to protect. So like I don't have any here, but these are sun orchids and they can handle it. But actually they do well when you put some Spanish moss like this, because the Spanish moss will protect and keep a little bit of more humidity to your orchids. But look, these don't get as watered as the ones in my greenhouse. And look, they're perfect. Perfect. They have no spots, no fungus. I have not sprayed for fungus. I don't spray out here for fungus because we eat these fruits. I don't want that in my fruits. So the only area that I spray a weed killer is inside my greenhouse because the floor is concrete and it doesn't penetrate through the ground because we have well water and I don't want to drink that either. So we keep everything here very, very clean. So the only time is here because I don't promote weed killer or anything like that to be on the ground because we eat from the ground. So anyways, let's start showing a couple of blooms. Now this is one of my top favorite, my rustic spot crossed with Cattleya, which I just got a Cattleya from Pam at Orchids in Bloom. And I need to get a rustic spots. I think I have one, but I'm not sure. But if I find one, I'm gonna get one. And that's probably the only thing I wanna get, because honestly, I am not buying any more orchids. I am so serious about this. I am at a level right now that I am happy with what I have, and I wanna focus on what I have. Because if I get more, too much more, I mean, I'll get gifts from you guys, and that's even more of a reason for me not to continue buying, because I don't think it's fair on my orchids that have done so well with me for so many years to kind of like not pay attention to them because I'm overwhelmed. So I'm actually gonna kind of just stay like this, and I'm gonna take a lot from in here, and they're gonna go on trees, because that's so much less work for me to do. But let's look at this beautiful Pearl Smith Vanda that I got. Ooh, my phone is getting hot. You know what, guys? Let me stop it right here. Let me let it cool down, and I'll come back. All right, guys. While I took this little break, about a 20-minute break, waiting for my phone to cool down, I figured, why don't I just do a two-part video? Since today is the only day I have a chance to do a video finally, might as well do a two-part. That way you have something more to see. So as we were, well, there's a plane landing, a helicopter landing on my backyard. We're also a runway for for local helicopters. Yeah, they have an airport very close to here. All right, let me not waste my energy. And I'm trying to look for the, I know I got this at Pearl Smith. Here we go. Here's the name. Sorry that oh my God, my nails are so dirty. Can you tell what I was doing earlier? I was doing gardening and watering, so my nails I didn't even have time to look at my nails. I always make sure they're clean before I film. That's how crazy it's been today. So I apologize for my dirt covered nails. So this I got about a year ago, and I fell in love with this flower. I believe I got it during their festival. And I'm so glad I got it because of the very obvious color coordination and that beautiful speckling. All that freckling that this Vanda has is absolutely stunning. This is one of those Vanda flowers that I am super excited when I see it bloom. It's just so pretty. So we're gonna do a two-part. Yay! I thought about it, I go, wait a minute, let's pack this with a lot of stuff. So as I showed you before, I said that my Bangkok Sunset is one of those that usually shoots 2 spikes. Here's the name. It shoots 2 spikes of very colorful fluorescent flowers. Look at that, how gorgeous. Just a beautiful flower all around. It's almost like a pink fluorescent with tangerine. The wind's helping me. It's kind of windy in here, believe it or not. I just bought a fan for here because my other one broke, and you have to have a fan flowing through here because of the heat. And it brings a lot of pests. Now, right here, this was a gift, my very first gift as a YouTuber, from a viewer called Frank Vitier. And he's been a loyal viewer of mine for 5+ years, and he gave me this. It was not this size at all. It's a Ciliaris. It doesn't, did I ever do I thought I did give it a tag. Hold on, let me see. No. All right, got a note to self. So anyways, this season, I guess because of all the fertilizing I did with Palmer's and also with 2020 and Super Thrive, it just busted out in several spikes. Now, the thing about this orchid is when you videotape it, it's a very difficult flower to get because it's very dainty. In person, it is just absolutely beautiful because you can see everything and it's very sophisticated. It does have a fragrance, I believe at night is when I smelled it, or early in the morning. But they are very, very difficult to film or photograph because of their thin, they kind of have that cucullata feel to it, but a lot on a thinner side. And then the labellum looks like a bird flying. I'm trying to get it focused, guys. It's just not that easy. Look, that looks focused. Perfect. Depends on the angle, right? Spoke too soon. So anyways, Frank, look at your little girl or little boy, whatever it is, whatever it defines itself as, is doing crazy beautiful. It really likes that mount. And up there I have another Vanda going. I believe this was a gift from Dan and Margie. They gave me this gift as a thank you. Was it? Let me see. Let me look at the tag. Hold on. No, this wasn't Dan and Margie. Sorry. I know who this was. This was C from Sierra Madre years ago. I think it was like an Easter Sunday or something like that. And he's like, here, happy, I think he said happy Easter, and he gave me this Vanda. It's such a beautiful Vanda. I have it up there because, like I said, guys, I don't have space anymore. So I'm finding whatever space. And here are my mini Vandas on my tamarind wood, which I've told you guys before, tamarind wood is really a great medium to use as a mount, because it mimics the natural way of an orchid growing, as I explained in the beginning. So they do just as well as if you put them on a regular tree. I've had these here for quite a while. Now, unfortunately, some did not. And I always say to my viewers, remember, everything is a learning curve and everything is an experiment. We're doing this stuff like learning as we go. And then some do very well and some don't. Like this pinky right here that always dies on me. Well, guess what? He's doing great here. I think that's a pinky. Maybe I'm wrong. There's another one in here that I thought was a mini Vanda. It's too late now because she is wrapped around that, unless I cut the thing, and then I would be cutting all the small ones. But I can't wait. It's not one of the large Vandas. It's from Carl Smith. All of these are from Carl Smith. But it is in a mini like these that they shoot little mini flowers. Now, I was gonna say, if you guys own a bat plant, this is a bat plant. It's just starting to bloom. These little tentacles, they all, once this flips down, let me see. Yeah, it's kind of stuck there. Let me help it along the way. There we go, Mama. I'm so sorry you got stuck there. She looks like a little octopus or jellyfish. So anyways, I love these plants because back to watering, these plants are very sensitive to water and heat. They will let you know when they need water because these leaves will droop. So if you start seeing these leaves drooping, your greenhouse needs water. So everyone that has a greenhouse should have one of these plants because it's a good indicator. It doesn't mean that your orchids need water when this needs water. That's not what I'm saying. But if you see that this plant is already starting to wilt, it is time to water everything because that means it's very hot in your greenhouse. And I noticed it the other day and I said, oh, okay, now the season is coming where I have to water every single day because we're getting rains, but it's just too sunny and too hot. Now this beauty I got from Soroa. It's a South African orchid, Sobenicofia robusta. And it is a beauty. I love the profile of this picture. Well, yes, of this flower. It is absolutely abstract and so like it reminds you of a pigeon. And there's a word when you see something in nature like a cloud and it looks like something else. I can't remember what it's called. I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, this flower has that. Like when you look at it, it gives you like, it looks like a bird is flying with his wings up, or a hummingbird drinking honeysuckle. See? So it can interpret many things. But what I could tell you for sure is it's such a beautiful Vanda, so unique, so different from everything I have. It's a strong bloomer. It'll give you 2 to 3 spikes at a time. It blooms once a year. It is a species, so most species, I'm not gonna say all because I don't know, but I know that a lot of species only bloom once a year at their time. I have heard of some species blooming twice a year, but this one, I think it's once a year. It's a gorgeous one. And I've only seen these at Soroa. I haven't seen these anywhere else. Now up here is one of my favorite colors in the greenhouse when it blooms. This is such a bubblegum flower. I got this at Kroll Smith. This is the Nepal. Let's see. I think I did. Oh no, it has another tag. Thank God, because the other one, Nepal Delight, Kroll's Thailand, and it has an award of merit. But look at how gorgeous those colors are. I love her. She really is a very happy flower. And look at the size of this. It's almost like almost a palm of my hand. You see? Yep, even bigger. Very pretty. So here, when it does rain, all this gets wet. But these, as you can see, they're all on mounts, so they can handle some of that heavy rain, right? Even my banana tree that I got from Sierra Madre, the tiny little one, look how big she's getting. And I got her during the super cold weather, so she died back and then came right back. Now, this is a Ben's Fantasy. She's one of my bigger Vandas, as you can see. But for some reason this year, she did the opposite. Last year, she gave me like 4 or 5 spikes at the same time. It was so beautiful. But this year, it only gave me 1 spike while everything else is giving me multiple spikes. So I guess it only likes to be different. But it is a gorgeous flower with a great, great fragrance. And these Ben Fantasy, they are very cool because you get different tones from each one. They don't all look the same, just like the Ben. Oops, sorry, I knocked down my bird's nest. Everything's getting so big. These are my bird nest. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't realize this. That's another thing that I wish I had like a little to remind me that I have to pull the focus back because I start going around and I don't pull the focus and it just looks like one big blur. But here are my bird's nests. They are getting really big. This belongs to Terry, which she's never picked it up. And look at the size of that. And I got this one, this little tiny one. It was growing from here, from one of my rocks. So I pulled her out and put her there, and she's gorgeous. And this is from Exotic Ferns, I think, or Exotic. I've gotten several things. This was tiny. It was like $25, I think, or $12 in a little cup. Little cup like this. All right, guys, let's move on to the area where I have most of my Cattleyas. Now, I did notice this beauty, this single beauty, blooming for me when I was watering today, and I was, look at you, just in time for our showcasing. Oh no, don't tell me it. Oh no. The other half is gone. Well, in search of a name, I'm gonna have to put it down there if I find it. I think it comes from Pam. I think I got this from Pam. So I'll have to see. Yeah, I got it at Pam's when she was down here at Ophi's, because I remember getting this from Ophi's, this beautiful pot. And we were like, because Chris goes, if you want to be very South Beachy, then I will get a white one. But if you want to be a little bit more interior designer, and I go, yeah, this is why I got the blue one, because it has that interior designer look. So gorgeous combination, beautiful, do not regret. But I have to come back and get your name, little girl, because you are too beautiful and too perfect. Your color, do you have a fragrance? Oh my God. Does she? Oh my God, it's so strong. It is that your typical orchid fragrance, but times 10. Now I really have to get your name, because my viewers will not. Oh my God, I hope I can get the name, because sometimes it's so hard. And this one's also blooming. This is also from Pam's. I got this one this last time I went. It wasn't in bloom, but she had one over there in bloom, and I fell in love with it. And I told her, I need this. But was this in bloom? Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't as floriferous as this one is right now. But it gave me this spike. And unfortunately, because it was so heavy, I had to tie it here because it was going to bend and break. Look at that, how gorgeous that is. Look at the color combination. T-shirt. That would make a great t-shirt. There's more, another Vanda flower up there. That one's very pretty. I have all those spikes you see over there coming up. I have that one. I know I had another one I wanted. This was very sad. Look what I did to my Cattleya with the hose. I'm so sad. It had two and I broke one, and the other one I wasn't paying attention. I was doing everything so quick because I didn't have enough time. And I got this over at Miss Pam's also. This is from the last trip that I did to a Apopka, I believe. Or did I get this at Crowsmith? No, I got this at Crowsmith. I think I got this at Crowsmith. I always get confused with the yellow tags, but I do think did I get this at Crowsmith? Sorry, guys. Sorry, it's starting to happen. I used to remember where I got all my orchids. Now it's almost impossible to remember all of them. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Here's the name of this baby. One-eye leopard Qinghua. Gee, I wonder where this comes from. Well, I didn't buy this from Qinghua, but I guess the cross was named after Qinghua, the nursery, or should I say the person who does crossings. He does very good orchid crossings. But what a gorgeous flower. You know, I'm a sucker for these freckles. And the thing is, this one was down here on the floor. Oops, I almost didn't see it. It was down there. And when I looked, I'm like, look at those spots. I was seeing it like this. I'm like, oh no, we gotta put you up here and showcase you because you're too gorgeous. Let me see if you smell. No, no fragrance whatsoever at all, zero. But she is beautiful. So here's another view from my greenhouse. I am shooting partial 4K. I did get some more memory. That was another big problem I had with my phone, that I couldn't film. I had no memory whatsoever. So now I can do 4K in some occasions. I can't. It takes a lot of memory. Now, this, I'd shown you guys that I got this at Crowsmith 4 years ago from Jake, one of the staff members, and he's the one that encouraged me to take this one. It's a Mimi Palmer crossed with a Tessellata. And after 4 years, I want to show you guys how big this has gotten. With good care, this was a very small, compact orchid. But I had told you guys, look, this is thrips. That's thrips. I have to spray, spot spray. I told you guys, once she starts shooting the first spike of summer, it just starts spiking everywhere. So I wanted to show you guys, if you already saw that video, you know how I always say the proof is in the pudding. This is how I noticed things that I'm doing that are working, and sometimes I notice things that I'm doing that are not working, and then I try to correct them. This is a beautiful Tessellata. I believe this was from Banyan. Oh, this was from Banyan. This is, hold on, let me grab the tag. This is from India. This is an Indian Tessellata, I believe. Yep, it's a Tessellata, but he told me it's from India. It's a different type. And I think he only had this one left, and he gave it to me as a gift. I think it was my birthday, maybe? I forgot. I think it was my birthday. And he goes, here, keep this, because it's a very pretty Tessellata, and it'll bloom a lot. And he's right. This blooms so much. And it has like a fish scale. Isn't that cool? All right, my friends. I am holding on. I'm holding on. None of my Paphiopedilums this poor thing is the last one. It's already gone. It's too hot for them. This is where I keep them now, more in the shade area, and I water them every day because they do start getting a little bit yellow, you see. So I have to be very careful with them because they are very sensitive. See, so I move them around. I don't keep them in the full sun. Those are doing great because they're just getting reflective light. And then this is from my neighbor or ex-neighbor that used to live here, that had these in her house, and before she moved, she gave me a bunch of orchids. And this is such a cool Cattleya, Cattleya cross. And I know for a fact that it's an Cattleya. No, I don't. But I assume because the person who created these hybrids was a famous scientist and orchid crosser. I believe his name is Ruben, but I can't remember where he was from. Colombia, maybe. But anyways, I wish I would have listened to my dad. And he was like, every time trying to push me to go meet him. I want you to go meet my friend. And so I never did, because I thought, what did my stepfather know about orchids? That's what a prideful, snobby kid will do. There's been many changes since then. But anyways, this is a beautiful Cattleya, and I'm sure is one of his special crosses, because I can't find this anywhere. And look how long this spike is. It's all the way up there, and it comes all the way out here. So I don't know if Ruben is still around. I don't even know if he even knows who I am, to tell you the truth. But if anybody still is in contact with him, I would be so, first of all, honored to speak to him, because he knew my dad, and it'd be cool to at least meet the person that my father wanted me to meet so bad, and I kind of took it for granted. And also I'll get the name of the flower. That'll be the bonus. So guys, you're hearing fans in here because yes, it's that time of year where we have to have fans on everywhere. But look at what I want to show you. My seedlings are doing amazing. Now, I did notice in some that the bottom leaf did yellow. See, like in this one, not all, but some would drop the very bottom leaf. Now, I know when you repot certain orchids, or when you put them on mounts, they tend to drop the bottom leaf. And I've always heard, if it's the bottom leaf, you're good. It's the top leaves or middle leaves that you should. So I've noticed that on 2 or 3, the bottom leaf, see, will drop. I think it's because it's the moisture is touching right there. That's what I'm assuming from my own personal observation, as I said. Now, I just watered these, so they are moist, but I don't touch these again until tomorrow. This will be completely dry. I ended up leaving them here. I didn't make holes or anything, because since I use this sprayer, look. It's not really that much. So I target right in there, and the tray just gets humid enough. As you can see, it's already dried. And I watered it about an hour ago before I started this video. And so far, so great. They're doing really, really good. I'm very happy. I just hope that, I don't overlook anything or underlook anything. And they say don't put it out there so it doesn't happen, but it is my first time, so I want to make sure I get it right. But let's focus on this gorgeous Hoya. Now, I've heard some of you say that I am the reason, me and Blanca is the reason why you have a Hoya collection. You're welcome, first of all. And second of all, you won't be disappointed, because you get to look at things like this that smell gorgeously good. And things like this, no 2 flowers are the same. This one, no, not right now. At nighttime, it has a great fragrance. And you know what? I tasted that little blood red liquid it was releasing. Oh my God, is it sweet. It's like pure honey. I wanted to keep, I didn't know if it was going to be bad for me, but I figured if it's not bad for the bugs, it can't be bad for me. And I had a friend that his grandfather said, if you want to know if you can eat a fruit, watch the birds and see if they eat it. He was a farmer. He says, watch, if a bird eats it, you can eat it. You won't get sick. So I don't know if that's true, guys. So don't go trying things that birds eat, but that's what I heard. So I tried it. It was so sweet and so delicious. I was like, how does a flower like this know to produce something so amazingly delicious? Like, it was like pure syrup. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, let me try this again. And when I did, it was super, super sugary. Now, I wanted to show you this pothos here. I think they call it a white princess or a queen pothos. I will put it underneath because I bought this at Home Depot when they were little tiny leaves this size. This is a Hoya, this is not a pothos, but they were about this size, and I put them on my trees. Now we're gonna leave the flowers for a little bit, but I'm gonna show you what I did with some of them because the leaves got so big that I figured, you know what? They're already large. What if we put them on a wood post and we water it every day? Now it's been like this for almost a week since I cut the things, and it's looking good. I don't know, what do you guys think? Sorry, I have a spider crawling, there we go, on my arm. So this size is perfect to put like inside your home or in a corner, right? So I was thinking, let me put it here, start watering it every day. I tied it to the pole, to that wood pole that already had this, because I thought, how pretty would it look with this combination, right? The smaller ones and the larger ones. So we're gonna see. I think it's gonna do good because they're very easy. These are very easy to keep. Now, the reason I'm showing you this now and pulling away a little bit from the flowers, and there's no, I would show you more Hoya flowers, but honestly, that's all I have right now. I did have a lot more before. Let me see, I'm looking. Some are still not even like that. Is not in bloom yet. That one's closed. This one's already falling out. There's some here. Oh, pubicalix. I have a lot of pubicalix Hoyas. Because when I started, I kept on buying the same one thinking it was different. Now this one is one, oh yes, you are blooming, look at you. This is from Joanna, one of our bubbly and orchid, or orchids and bubbly. We're switching it to orchids and bubbly, by the way, because it really is about the orchids first, and then bubbly to refresh. But she gave me this as a gift because it has my favorite colors, cranberry and yellow. And now she's starting to bloom again. She had dropped all her blooms, and I saw a couple of peduncles there starting to show through. What a cute little flower. Thank you, Joanna. I love it. My carry eye is also carrying on with some blooms in there. Not as much as earlier when I showed you in the last video that I did. This whole thing was packed. So yes, sometimes they have a lot, and sometimes they'll only bloom one peduncle. Now, let's go back to the making of a botanical garden. And the reason I showed you guys, because a lot of newbies probably have not seen my greenhouse, I want to show you where I'm getting my cuttings from. So when I show you on trees, you know where I get them. These are all plants that were super old. I've had them when I first started here, living here, and I did horrible with them. It was just not the right way. So I said the last resort is putting them on a tree with some Spanish moss. Well, this one gave me a new growth. So I have a feeling this is gonna be okay. Hopefully, if it doesn't rot or get fungus, they sometimes do, believe it or not. If they're still trying to attach and it starts raining too much, it could get a little bit too much for the plant. This one as well, it dropped all the leaves, but the cane did not die. The cane is still green and plump. And then it gave me a new growth. So again, this one's doing good. This Encyclia, I really am surprised it came back, because she kind of did and kind of didn't. And then boom, she gave me two new growth. It was dying like this, you see, but then it gave me this and this. So sooner or later, we're gonna have definitely spikes on that. The vanilla doing well, growing nicely up my avocado tree. And this is an avocado tree that I told you that some of them do well, but some don't. And this one kept on falling off from a mount. Then I put it in a pot, and then it fell again. And I said, you know, you're falling so much, I'm not following my own rules. If you fall, you go on a tree. You don't get repotted, unless you're like something special that I have to have on a pot. So I put it here, and yep, look, she's doing great. So the making of my little mini botanical garden is going to amp up now. This is my Annie Bell that you guys seen. Now I have to move her. I had her here because the landscapers. I had her hanging there, but do you see how much sun is falling on here? She, inside my greenhouse, for some reason now this season, she doesn't like it at all. I noticed it right away, and I have to move her. That is one of the things I do not appreciate about orchids. If you don't have the confined place, like let's say Carl Smith or Pam, they have the nurseries already where they have everything working for them, you have to keep moving them around. They're not going to be good in the same spot all year round because everything shifts. The sun shifts, weather shifts, wind shifts. So you have to move them around. I did put her out here and I noticed an improvement already. Now, I don't like that she's here with other leaves on her because I want her to be hanging by herself. But because I had to clean out all the hanging pothos that were hanging. Now, if you guys go back a couple of my videos, when I walk through here, you would see it all. It looked like a jungle. You couldn't see through. Everything was hanging. And people were like, oh, it looks so much like a jungle. And I said, yes, but it's creating so much shadow that I'm getting burn spots on my, dying spots on my grass. And in certain areas is taking over my plants that I'm putting around the trees. So what I did was I got up on a ladder, about 7-foot ladder, and I started grabbing as high as I could in this whole area and cutting and cutting and cutting. I did every single tree all the way to the end because it's only the trees that have the pothos. There's 1, 2 right there, 3. This one had a lot. This is where I got that from. Actually, yeah, this is where I got that because you can see them up there. And I got one from this one too. But I like these. These don't get as crazy as the regular, I think it's called golden pothos. These are already way too, see up there? Just way too overgrown. So as they start hanging, I start, hey Bruce, how you doing, Papa? There's always one that comes to say hello. How you doing? How's everything? What are you doing, taking a little cat nap? Taking a cat nap? So anyways, I had to cut everything. When the lights, see, here's a good example. You see how they start growing out? Well, I pull them, most of the time they break off, but it's pretty dangerous because if you pull too hard and it's really stuck, you can hurt yourself. And I've hurt myself already. Now I'm going to show you guys this gorgeousness that I keep drawing a blank. Haltoyana? I'll put it underneath. It was blooming beautiful. This comes from Carl Smith. I divided her 3 times. And I put her here on this tree. This was another one that did not like my greenhouse anymore. It did great for like almost 3 years. It was a birthday gift from Frank. Great. And all of a sudden, the bottom leaves started dropping. It could have been the cold weather too, even though I put her in a warm area. Still, they're too sensitive. This is the Alba, by the way. And I decided just to divide her and put her here. And she gave me 3 spikes. Now, I don't know if those are spikes of happiness or the Last Supper, you know, as they call it. It's the last time you're gonna be around, so you're gonna push a lot of spikes. So we just have to wait and see. Now, on my quick tent, look what I had to do. I had to have Lewis put our red umbrella because when we cut back a lot of the trees, now the sun hits directly. And because I've been so busy, I didn't notice it was burning my orchids. Look. And that was just from sitting there. Now we have more of a dim area and I have this fan on, which is, I have it on high now. So I think I have it pretty controlled. I'm seeing spikes again. I'm seeing shiny leaves, but it was a little bit of a scare there. And I know someone told me, oh, they would do great in your work area. I had it there, but then when it rains, my roof is it's not waterproof completely in certain areas. It still gets drenched, and I lost some phalaenopsis like that last year because they got really wet and I didn't see it. So that's one of the reasons, guys, I'm telling you that I have to keep the amount of orchids that I know I can care for. I think I'm being a little bit irresponsible in getting so many and knowing that they're growing, and I'm only one person, so I have other responsibilities. I run a business, I run a ranch, I have big hobbies, and so I'm not just doing this, and I had to stop. I had to put it in pause. But look at how gorgeous that flower is. Now, I've shown this before, and I've also shown this one. This one came from, I don't have a tag for this one. I think in my last video I have the name. She is the main show. Look at that. Look at that color, guys. Woo! She is preciosa. And I got this at Crowsmith. There's a lot of Crowsmith and Pam. I think that a lot of the stuff that I got from Apopka is now blooming. Very pretty. Just like that yellow one. It's also very nice. On its way out though. What about you? I love you. This one is so pretty. This is the Wilson. I've shown this many times. I'm not gonna repeat it because it's always blooming and I have it in so many of my... All right, so let me pause here and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I decided to stop it right here because I realized we're close to the 60-minute mark. So I'm gonna cut it right here and then go into the second part. So it'll be a 2-part. Hopefully the other second part won't be that long, but I am gonna show you some amazing things in the second part, like my huge fish room, my aquarium room. For you guys that have not seen it, I collect great exotic fishes and I have them in this enclosed terrace that I would love to share with you. Plus, I am going to share with you my update in my music room and how it's looking. So stay tuned for part 2. I wanted to ask you guys for a favor. I hope that you guys can help me out with this because it's for a friend, and she actually is a cat trapper. She's been doing this for several years. She does it out of the goodness of her heart. They don't really pay her for that. She does accept donations, so she started her own channel, and I would love for you guys just to go and subscribe because I'm trying to get her to monetize her videos. I told her, you know, you would do really good doing your videos out there and showing people how you trap cats and how important it is what you do, because nobody knows. And she started doing these little shorts, and she actually has some really, really cool content. As a matter of fact, I'm in some of her content, I believe, that she put out there because she comes down here. She helped me fix all my cats. So I will put the name, it's Cat Trapper 305 or 305 Cat Trapper. I always flip them around. But anyways, I will put it there. If you guys can please help her out. Just go in there, subscribe, view her stuff. It's actually pretty interesting how she traps these feral cats that are so difficult to get. And she does it successfully every single time. Sometimes it takes her days. She'll keep going and repeating the visit to the place until she catches a cat. So if you guys want a cat, I was gonna say if you want to catch some cats with her, but if you want to see how this happens, I encourage you to check it out. It's a lot of fun. All right, so I will see you in part 2. Thank you for sticking around part 1. See you on the flip side.